Good morning, XRP Army, my tribe, everybody out there in YouTube land. I want to talk today about the worker bee. The worker bee is born and it spends its entire life in support of the queen bee. And that's all it does. It works and it works and it works to support the queen bee. And it is part of a hive whose sole purpose is to support the queen bee. And this is what we are taught during our education as youth. We are taught the minimums. We are not taught how to break free of that worker bee mentality. We used to be taught critical thinking, and I hope that comes back now that we've had a change of administration here in the United States. Critical thinking is so important. But even when critical thinking was taught, people were not taught how to become the queen bee. And I think that is jealously guarded by those who are the queens, those who are supported by the system. And I'm not even talking about people who are in government subsidized by the government. They really are part of the worker bee class also. But what I'm talking about is those people who understand that the road to wealth is simply a mathematical equation. And what you do with any amount of excess you may have. We can all find excesses. If you don't have it, you can create it. You can get rid of things you don't need anymore, something that is not doing you any good. You can take that, turn it into cash, and buy an asset that will return to you money. We'll cause itself to multiply due to the simple machinations of multiplication. Sometimes you have setbacks, sometimes you leap forward. Sometimes it's a steady, gradual growth. The kind of growth I'm talking about isn't putting it into a Roth IRA or something along those lines that typically does not outpace inflation. The real inflation, not the government numbers. What it costs you to live on a daily basis, a yearly basis. We don't live as well as the generation before. Although we have a huge amount of wealth and advantages here in the United States. It's just incredible. I'm thankful to live here. I'm thankful for the opportunities, and I'm learning to take advantage of the opportunities I'm given. And that's what you need to do. You need to unlearn. At first, you need to unlearn. You need to become, upset that you were failed in your education, that it didn't teach you to have excess and to make that excess work for you rather than take that excess and buy a larger TV so you can brag to your neighbors, buy a new car because your neighbor bought one, buy a bigger house. Most people's homes are their greatest asset, and your home really isn't an asset. I argue about that back and forth in my own mind, whether my house is an asset or a liability. You have to live somewhere, but it should be paid for. Homes are only as expensive as they are today because banks will loan on them for 30 years, 40 years, 45 years. Incredible lengths of time they put you into slavery. If the banks couldn't do that, then the housing would fall to its real value as a percentage of your earning income. The cost of homes have been eating up more and more of people's percentage of their income over the years. They've become unaffordable. You reach a level of resistance where people say, I just can't do it. And that's kind of where we're at now in the housing market in the US. there's going to be a reevaluation of things due to people's ability to support the current asking prices. There's an opportunity in that too coming very soon. But right now I'm talking about crypto because that's what I'm into at the moment. There will come a time when silver and gold will explode. That time may be very, very soon. If you look at what's happening, the audit at Fort Knox, money coming out of the COMEX, being shipped to the U.S., in particular New York. There's some financial changes brewing on the horizon, and they're going to be pretty big, and they're going to shake up the whole financial world, probably around the entire world. You need to be ready for it. And the way to get ready is, number one, change your way of thinking about money. Money needs to become your slave. It needs to work for you, not for free. It needs to return something to you in order to exist in your world. If something isn't bringing you value, you need to reevaluate it and perhaps make a change in your life. So get upset first about the way you were taught and the inadequacies of the way you were taught. Understand you were taught to be a worker bee or an ant whose sole purpose is to support the colony, not to get ahead. Once you begin to understand that's how you were educated, that process of being upset about it, or the realization, drive it home. The upsettedness should cause you to change. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get you to change mentally the way you look at your finances. It isn't about buying something that gives you a momentary high because, ooh, I got this new gizmo. Nobody in my block has one. And then everybody has one, and the shine wears off. And you got to go out and get in debt even deeper to have the next new gizmo. Break that mentality. Take that instead and make that work for you. Make it return something to you to warrant its existence in your life. Reevaluate your life. Do you understand what the word reevaluate your life? Change your value system. Break out of that mentality you were taught to be a consumer, because that's what we are. We are taught every single day to be a consumer. It's in all the news, every commercial, every YouTube channel you watch. Even inside the YouTube channels, you have advertisements. Consume this, send me your money, send me your money. Break out of that. Take that money and buy something. And right now, I think XRP is a really good thing to buy. I think the financial world is about to change fundamentally. And I do believe XRP, XLM, XCN will be part of that, a big part of it, a big part. Ripple, Circle, they're going to change the financial world at its foundation. And you need to be on that train. Getting on that train takes a change in your mentality. Forget whether you think, oh, crypto will all cease to exist. Cryptos will all return to zero. Well, the dollar's returning to zero. It has been since the inception, the greenback. Since the inception of the Federal Reserve, the dollar's value has been declining down to zero. And when it reaches a certain point, people will stop using it as a medium of exchange. That's history. Do your history. History says all fiat currencies eventually return to its intrinsic value, fall to their intrinsic value, and that value is zero. So put it into something. Crypto has utility. Some cryptos. Ripple has utility. XRP has utility. XLM has utility. XCN has utility. Could they return to zero? Yeah, if we lose the electricity around the world, everything. But your savings account, your stocks, your bonds, they all drop to zero because there's no electricity to make them run. As long as we have electricity, it's a viable method of reaching the goal of becoming something more than a worker bee. And it could be a rocket ship to the moon. I hope so. I hope we get 100,000 today. Do you hear the hopium? Probably won't happen. It hasn't happened every single day that I wake up and say I wish it would. So it probably won't continue to do that. It probably will continue to not do that. But if it does what Bitcoin did, I'm willing to wait a decade. Because it's going to go up and up and up and up as utility. Maybe it'll do one of those. I hope it does a moonshot. I really do. And I'm on that rocket ship. There are other things too, but first it comes down to changing your mentality. If you were, for years, a couple of decades, I played video games every single day. Now I'm starting a business based upon my entire work history and the knowledge I've accumulated over that period of time has value. So I'm taking that value and I'm going to turn that into money by providing services along the lines of my expertise. And I'm going to take that money and I'm going to be buying XRP, XLM, XCN, other cryptos, small amounts. The majority of my holdings is in XRP, but I'll also buy other things that have value and will probably rise in value. Make your money work for you. Get out of the mentality you were taught as a child and reinforced every single day of your life that if you don't have this over here, then you're not part of this crowd. And it drives you. Recognize that every day in your life, in your daily life, when you see it, when someone's trying to sell you something because of a feel-good thing, the momentary and the brief little endorphin rush that it will give you, recognize it, call it out, say it. Say it, I am being indoctrinated. And be upset about that. And then begin to change your way of thinking. And then start accumulating things. Sell something that is not bringing you value, that is not working for you. And take that money and make it work for you. Do something with it. I don't care if you buy XRP at today's price of $262 and tomorrow it goes down to $250. So what? You buy a new TV, you put it on your wall, and the next day it's worth half of what you paid for it. XRP has potential. That TV is not going to be worth anything more than you ever paid for it because they're always making more. XRP has utility. The only thing that TV will do for you is turn on and brainwash you more to keep you living as a worker bee. Learn from your past. Learn from your daily experience. See it for what it is. Change your life. Change your thoughts, change your world. Something I've been saying to myself for decades. Change your thoughts, change your world. God bless you all. Take care. Like, share, subscribe. I'm out.